I saw this movie twice. Okay, wait.
You saw this twice?
Yeah, I saw it back in October, and I was like, dude, we got to watch this because it just came out. And you're like, I'm too busy. So it's like 2 months later, we're watching it. I'm like, I don't remember much about it, so I watched it again.
Gotcha.
I'll start that way. Thank you for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review, Episode 18. I saw this movie that we're about to talk about twice. The first time I saw it, I kind of liked it. I almost loved it, but I just was kind of like, oh, that was kind of cool and different.
I liked it a lot.
Second time, I loved it. I don't know how to explain that, but we saw The Babysitter, and it's about this kind of dorky kid that has a really cool babysitter, and he's kind of a geek, and he's a loser. And she's able to talk geek to him.
She befriends him?
She becomes his friend. They become very close. You think they're like best buddies.
Oh, absolutely. Because they and what was great is part of the way that they did is they had like a lot of things in common, like handshakes and dances where they synchronized.
And little games about science fiction and stuff.
And that they would play while they were, hanging out, and that babysitting.
He loved the babysitter.
It was just hanging out, yeah.
And he had a little crush on her too. But she was not quite what she seemed.
She had an evil streak. Ooh.
Let me see if I can do an 80s voice. The babysitter is not quite what she seems. I don't know. I can't really do that breathy thing, but I thought the acting was brilliant. The script writing was amazing. I thought the movie as a whole was a great homage to horror in general, and it made fun of itself.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of Scream in that way.
And the director, I looked him up just because I was like,
McG?
I was like,
he's a
that
TV
sounds
director,
familiar.
Isn't he?
Terminator Salvation was the last movie I saw him do.
Okay.
But he was actually started out as like he did Smash Mouth videos.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So he was like a video guy at the beginning.
Did he do any TV?
He did some TV.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I've seen his credit before.
So I like his style, I think. And I was thinking Scream Queens. I had some favorite scenes. Oh, Fast Time at Ridgemont High. Had those little flavors in there, I think. The hot babysitter.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is the light touch, funny horror.
Yes.
Yeah,
but it
like
had
I
gore.
say, it was Scream. It was definitely
Scream. It had gore and violence in it, but it was just the right amount. It wasn't too much. It did.
And in the very first time that it hits,
that was my favorite.
Holy crap!
Well, I had the same reaction he had, and it was like, holy shit, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, what the hell is happening?
The only question I have back after that is like, after he sees that happen, why is he sitting on the stairs staring at her? Wouldn't he be worried about them seeing him? I don't know. There were some things, but
there was a lot of that kind of thing where somebody's talking like right here, and doesn't see you conveniently.
And did they have any neighbors? Because if that shit was happening in my neighborhood, I think I would notice it.
Well, he had the beautiful neighbor.
That's right.
The girl neighbor one and
with no parents there.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
And then the guy was chasing.
Didn't get the car.
The guy was chasing him around the streets, and they were screaming. And I was like, "Wouldn't an old lady or somebody come out and go, shut up?" I don't know, something. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things that were interesting. Well, the dad was on a date. That's why he was gone. Right, the guy that had the car.
Right. Yeah.
But it looked like a soundstage to me, and I kept thinking that for the first time I saw it. Second time I decided, I just enjoy the movie.
Yeah, just let it go. Even I don't catch that stuff anymore.
So I couldn't let it go the first time I saw it. And I was even saying the movie
later on we're going to talk about something that regards a set piece. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was also saying the first time I saw it, I was saying it would have been so much better if he had like a sibling, and maybe one of them went to the dark side, like joined them. I don't know.
Now you completely got me.
And why
confused.
didn't she ask him to join them, like join their group, and like say, "Hey, let's."
She did. He was the virgin sacrifice.
No, I mean like, hey, like when he found out about
because she'd been setting it up. He was set up as the virgin.
I do like how he said, "If you would have just asked me for it, like." And he's
like, your blood? That would have been great. Yeah.
It's like, I would have given you the blood. I mean,
but the kills were
awesome.
Awesome, and they were so great and straightforward. And now some of my notes now make sense now that this is coming back.
Why is he shirtless? Why are there guns? My titty's gone. Sorry, I'm just mentioning some things that I liked.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was awesome having this woman saying, what am I going to do with my life? My titty's gone. No one's going to look at me now.
Yeah, I hate getting shot through the breasts. The kid was awesome, and the blonde was absolutely amazing. The way that she delivered her lines and stuff, because that is a hard role. She's playing the bad guy that is kind of a good guy.
She has to play good in front of him.
Then get super evil and still be kind of funny as she goes, and that's different.
I thought all the casting was great. Like I thought everybody that was in it was good. Like in their role.
Oh, absolutely great. And a good example of when we talk about another film that we're coming up on.
We talk about Red Christmas.
Yeah, Red Christmas. That how this is so much better. You know,
they're similar too.
It seems like this could have possibly been a pretty good budget because it had a really good look.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful.
Actually, after I looked him up, after I watched it the first time, I realized he did music videos, and I saw some similarities in some of the videos I remembered that he produced. Or directed. I was like, yeah, it has the same look. It was very pretty and very. It was good. I mean, it was just. I can't really explain it. You can probably explain it better than I can.
It was very.
And the simple
set.
The
lighting.
Don't you think it was a simple set? It was just a house, basically.
Yeah, it's just a house. Yeah. I'm curious as to whether they had that whole house built on a stage, but I get a feeling that they probably didn't, because of where the stairs were and how the stairs were located, and they were such a big feature in it. That's very difficult to do on a stage.
I love the under the house too, with all the mice and everything.
This is the best. Yeah, the spider. The spider. You know, you gotta have a character like a spider.
To review, the acting was awesome.
We loved
it. The script was awesome.
Loved it.
Everything was awesome. The gore was awesome. The violence was awesome.
Loved it.
And it was funny. And I'd watch it a third time. That's how much I liked it.
Well, I would watch it twice.
I'd watch it again, just probably a year from now. I'll watch it. But I did like how the set looked, even though it was very simple. And I think there was a lot of good effects.
Hey, and by the way, there was one point, though.
Uh-oh.
Story time.
Story time.
It's story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick.
The fog on the background.
Yes.
In the backyard.
Yes, the fog.
The fog that was 3 inches above the grass was awesome looking.
Yeah.
That was a low-lying fog.
Yes.
And it was about 3 inches high.
It just kind of hung out on the ground. It just
hung out very low to the ground.
So was that dry ice? That's what I was thinking.
That's dry ice, yeah.
Well, because I've been to Halloween parties where they have the...
There's another way to do it. There's another way to do it. You know what I should bring up?
What?
There's another way to do it. You can use
a bigger scale, probably,
tanks
right?
yeah, for really.
I knew that was coming.
Big scale.
You didn't do anything small, did you?
No, not me. Actually, that's kind of my reputation. I didn't do things small. Ring of the Musketeers. Now there is this cheesy castle in the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
It's you know, if Elvis were to build a castle, it would look exactly like this. I'm not kidding. You know, and so you got that image in your mind, okay? What we did is we filmed inside for a little bit, but then what we wanted is the backyard with the castle kind of in the background, and they have a huge sword fight that's choreographed, and the yard kind of went from one level to the other, and it had a fountain in it that kind of like spilled one level to the other, spilled down and spilled down and spilled down. And what they wanted is they wanted a gag where they were fighting completely in fog up to their knees. Okay?
Right.
And in order to do that, and that's such a huge gag. I mean, I said, well, you know, that's going to, we would need to get nitrogen tanks, 250-gallon tanks, which are the big silver ones with the ring around the top, and probably it's going to take 20 of them. So he said, fine, you know what? It's the big kahuna, the big shot. That's great. Well, go ahead. Put it in your budget and do it. So even though I was doing the production design on it, as usual, I get my hands involved in, the effects and everything else. And so we took on the effect of doing 30-inch high fog. So we have 20 tanks, and we get them all up to the highest point in the backyard. Now, this was a beautifully sculpted landscaping job, and it had the pond, and we had to remove the fish from the different layers of the pond because we knew that they wouldn't be able to breathe, because the fog would be right over, and of course they would all die and roll over. So we removed the fish, and we started filming, and we only filmed for one night. But it was a long night. And so from the time, I would say literally from the time that the sun went down until the sun came up, we held a fog level in the backyard of 30 inches. And that includes spilling, and it was constantly spilling over. So it went from level to level. And so we maintained that, and it took, I think that in the middle of the night, we actually called and replenished another 10 tanks of nitrogen. Okay. So, you try, when you're doing effects, you try and think of everything. I mean, you just try not to be surprised. So imagine my shock and horror when 2 weeks later, the location manager comes up to me and says, "Hey, we got to have a talk. Get in my car. We're going to drive across town." So we drive, and I go, "Well, we're heading back to the castle." And he goes, yeah, you're going to like this. And, in that way that he said it, I knew I was not going to like this at all.
Right.
And so we go around to the backyard, and I look out there, and absolutely everything in the backyard is dead. And even the trees and every bush, you could see a line at about 30 inches up on the bushes.
Even the trees were dead.
Even the trees, everything was dead. And I mean everything. It looked, even
brown.
Even the area down the driveway, which went out in the front of the house because it kept, the spill went down and kind of dissipated, along the really long driveway, right? So at the beginning of the driveway at 30 inches high, the bushes are dead, and then they just sort of tapered down like a little big arrow going down, and everything was dead. I could not have called that one in a million years. Right. I mean, absolutely, it completely surprised me. And in looking back, of course, we basically froze everything in the backyard, because I'm sure that kept everything really, really cold for all night.
Right.
And
it was spilling over, like you said.
Yeah, but it is one of those things. There are things that you just can't foresee, and I probably wouldn't do it again. But then, maybe
you would.
I think the insurance came out somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000.
Wow, at that time, that's quite a bit of money.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of landscaping.
A lot of land.
Like
it was a big piece. It was a big piece of
trees.
property. Oh yeah, it was.
Wow.
They had to pull out all the trees, and the trees are the thing that really costs the money. It isn't like you have to replace things.
You have to replace adult-sized trees.
Trees.
Not just baby trees.
And right there, and in order to get them in, I'm pretty sure they had to helicopter them over the house. Yeah, it was a bad scene. But you got good insurance.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I can.
Yeah, insurance.
Yeah, I mean, on any given house, I could blow it up to $1 million, and it wouldn't be a problem. Wow. Now, we were talking about something else.
So you might have done those people a favor if their castle was tacky. They probably got better landscaping.
Probably.
Curb appeal is very important these days.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, it is. Oh, So there was another quick little thing that I wanted to bring up. This this happened to me working on The Hidden.
The Hidden. Okay.
Hidden. On The Hidden, we had a location, which was in the middle of older part of L.A. down around south of the freeway, around Silver Lake. If you go south of the 10, there's like a very commercial, it was very Latin, and they had there was a very large restaurant that was being remodeled, and basically we took the restaurant over because we needed a restaurant that we were going to blow up.
Okay. Right.
So,
well, I mean, sometimes we need those, right?
So basically what we did is we reversed the restaurant, and we put a facade on the back of it.
Oh, okay.
So that we had the full building, and we could, it could look like a building, but, it was just, then our facade would then be blown, okay? So we get there, we build the facade in a shop, and then we load it all up, and I'm the production designer, and I meet the guys and all the equipment, and we would all roll in with trucks and set it up so that we could blow it up in the evening.
Right.
So we were there early in the morning, about 8 o'clock, and the location manager, I guess, didn't get the message that we needed to be there, at 8. And we had worked long. A lot of The Hidden was done at night, and so we had worked long the night before, and so he was sleeping in a little bit, and of course, being the art director or production designer, sleep is something that was entirely optional, and
right.
So I'm there in the morning, and he isn't there to open the place up, and I had to get this whole thing set up. This was going to take a while. So we, bang on the doors and bang on the doors and bang on the doors. And then finally, somebody says, well, what are we going to do? And I go, well, we have a contract and all the rest of that. Let me go work on it. Well, the thing is I kind of at the time was pretty good with lock picks.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were cheap blocks that they had on the thing. And so I went around and went over to the side where nobody could see me, and I picked the lock. And I said, oh, this door's open. And I went inside.
Jeez.
Now, there are no lights on, right? And I didn't have no idea where a light switch was. And so I start going around, and this building is boarded up. Okay, it was boarded up on the front, and we had the fake facade that we put in the back. So completely boarded up, and I'm in there, and I'm just like feeling my way around, and I'm working my way back to get to the door that we have to open, which is all the way on the other side of the building. And so I'm going through, and there's sort of construction debris everywhere and boards everywhere. So I'm tripping, and I'm making a whole hell of a lot of noise. And all of a sudden, I see a crack underneath the door. I see a light come on. And I go, oh, and I start to head towards that crack because I saw the light come on. And just as I get within about 5 feet of it, the door just swings open. Just swings slowly open. And there is an obviously drunk, swaying from side to side, Korean guy holding a .45.
Oh, jeez.
Silver, by the way. And I remember to this day that chrome, the glint of the chrome coming.
The .45 is not a small firearm.
Yeah,
either.
It's not, boy. And it was on the semi-automatic, bro. And I'm telling you, he started, and he didn't understand English. So nothing that I said made any difference to him at all. So I put up my hands, and he slowly backed me back, and I kept just walking backwards and walking towards the exit I was trying to get to. And as I come back, and boy, he was swaying and stumbling, and I thought, oh my God, this guy's gonna This guy's gonna trip and kill me accidentally. I just knew it. And so he comes around, and finally I back out of the door. I open the door, and everybody, I kind of like just hit the bar with my back, and the door starts to come open, and the guys are going, yay, yay, yay. And then I back out like this with my hands up, and then the gun comes out.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow.
So, anyway, the thing is my guys are here, and just then, the location manager drives up. And this guy is yelling, and so they get the owner of the building, who was his brother, it turns out. He was doing security for his brother, and he was sleeping there. And I was over in the corner. I had been told to sit on the ground and hold my hands up like this, up against the building, right? And a couple of cops come. And the cops come, and they arrest me. And the location manager is like, oh, well, this is the guy. He's on our crew, but this is the guy.
What?
So we're going to have to charge you. And the guy, and so they arrest me in front of the owner and this other guy, and I was spitting mad. I mean, I was just barely holding it together. And in me, when I'm barely holding it together, that means that I really wasn't holding it together at all. Right. I was just cursing it. And they, duck my head and put me in the back of the car. And we back out, and they drive me straight to the nearest Denny's. And I was completely confused. I was going, what the hell? What the hell is this? They go, yeah, we sure pulled it over on you, huh?
Oh,
just, come on in. We're the on-set cops for you this afternoon and tonight.
That's awesome.
So so it was all a charade for the owner. That the justice was done for me breaking and entering. And everything got done, and I got a breakfast at Denny's.
And I thought you were going to say free. The Korean guy was in on it, but
no. But the thing was, is then I thought, well, I said, well, guys, I can go back to set, right? And they go, no, you have to leave now. We're going to drive your car to this Denny's, and then you have to go away. So right. I went home for the rest of the day.
Wow! But you were able to work the rest of the.
Oh, the rest of the show, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was Garrett Folsom's little trick on me. He was the location manager.
That's awesome.
Oh well. Anyway.
Wow. Well, you were dedicated because you were willing to break in and face death to get the job done.
What? Are you kidding? I just had no idea I was going to be.
So you weren't a hero. You were just.
Yeah, I wasn't. At best, I was a reluctant pawn in the movie making machine.
Right.
There you go.
Was that a good movie? I don't think I saw it.
The Hidden?
Yeah.
Hidden is a great movie. I'll
put it on my list. This is my list.
Just crinkle the paper. Let's both. Yeah, put it on the list. If you haven't seen The Hidden, then The Hidden should be one of the first ones of ours, of mine that we do.
Or maybe Critters too. I don't
know. So are we done? Yeah, we were done a long time ago.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Oh, let me take the headphones off for a sec. Oh, you got a glass of water?
Thank you for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review. If you have any questions or just have comments about our show, please give us an email at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook at DW Review as well as Twitter. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Dream Warrior Review.